Let's talk about the real reason why Kaizer Chiefs players are not performing under Nabi. And there are a lot of theories that are coming from you guys. And we're going to look at each of those theories that I've read on the comments, that I've heard people talk about, and look at the validity of each theory. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. So, theory number one, Nabi is not good enough. I am not saying that. It's a theory that is coming from you guys. People are saying he's the plumber, he knows nothing, he's not good enough. And the main thing, and two main criticisms of Nabi are: one, he makes his subs late. And even myself have said that he not only the problem about making subs late, because I've mentioned that I don't always have a problem with subs being late, because if it's working, then it's working. You leave it like that. But recently, Nabi has been making subs late, even though you see that Ulilepo, for example, rarely gets substituted. But you see, Guti, he's no longer giving us anything. But they keep him in a game. But number two is also the fact that not just that he makes subs late, but he makes the wrong subs. And that's a problem that we have, Guti. You are in a game, like 2 weeks when you're playing against Arrows, you had Ucele getting injured, and then he brought Oxim Tetwa to play alongside Yusuf Mart. In that bench, there was George Matlo. In that bench, there was Nkosi Mpile. Question is, why not bring on those players? So people are saying he's not good enough because of that. And the other thing, there is the aspect in this thing. People are saying that he's not good enough because he does not have a consistent starting 11. And that is a thing that makes a lot of sense, because after 23 games, actually more than that if you count the cup games as well, why is the coach not having a consistent starting 11? And the answer is, I don't know. Because the one thing that I could come up with is the fact that, one, he's trying to give everyone an opportunity. And he has to give them an opportunity because, one, there are injuries, but two, the players are not consistent themselves. And I always make an example with Yusuf Mart, that Mart is always playing at Chiefs because he's going to give you an average game at best. That's what he's going to give you most of the times, not at best. Mart is going to play every Kaizer Chiefs game, or most of the Kaizer Chiefs games, because he gives you his average performance. He's going to give you 6 out of 10. But if you look at other players, they give you 10 today, 5 tomorrow, 3 that other day. But Mart, at least you know he's here, giving you the thing all the time. So you see him being there, because even though he might be average to many people, but he will be consistent in doing that. And then it's a problem with other players because they're up and down. You look at Ranga today, he's going to miss 3 chances. So what is the coach going to do? He's going to bring Dupree. He comes in now, he scores 1 goal this match, and then the game after that, he's nowhere to be seen. The game after that, he's nowhere to be seen. Okay, now we have to go back to Morris. We go to Morris. Morris will press all day, but he's not going to give you goals. And then we have to go to Duba. He's going to score, but then sometimes it doesn't do anything. You understand? But for the most part, Utuba at least has been the most reliable. That is why he was moved from being a winger to being a striker, because he's shown that he's actually the one who can be reliable. But then in other positions, like Abo Cross, you see the same thing. Today, he almost performs, and then the following game, he's nowhere to be found, or he makes mistakes. Frosler performs today, tomorrow is not performing. So then the coach has to make changes because the players themselves are not consistent, which is what brings us to the second point. But before we do that, guys, April is 50,000. We're trying to reach 50,000 by the end of March, but now April. Can we get to 50,000 before E10? Please, as a belief. So the second reason is the fact that players are not good enough. There is a lack of quality. I just talked about players. So even when we talk about quality, we're not just talking about the ability to play, but we're also talking about the ability to consistently deliver the same type of performance. Which one player can you point at Kaizer Chiefs and say does that, except Tuchel? You cannot think of any other player, because most other players will always do this, then tomorrow do that other thing. So because of that, there is that lack of consistency in the players, because Bona, they being good is just here, then there, here, then there, here, then there, then it stops. And that's a problem for a team. Whether you are building it or you're not building it, you cannot have a team that lacks consistency within the individuals, because even for the team to click, it's not going to take the whole team does not just click if the whole team doesn't click. It sounds like I'm being redundant, but what I'm saying is, if Uvuma is not giving his 10 out of 10, that means the whole team is not clicking because one person is not doing his job. If Uvuma nomuntu odlala i6 nocele is not clicking, that means uzidlala ngabadlali about 9 who are doing their all. But now if you look at Chiefs, how many players give their all each and every game? I'm just gonna pause and let you process that. How many players actually do that? You get me? But at the same time, I don't think that's it. And I'm going to reveal the last thing that I think is the correct one in the end. I do think that players are not giving their all, but I think there's also a reason for this. Which brings us to reason number 3. And reason number 3 is the fact that Kaizer Chiefs right now, they are in a situation where the players want the coach to be fired. Some people think that. Now, this brings back to the first point and the second point. Mtusha Balala, beginning of the season, was playing, was starting every game and all of that. But then as the season progressed, he started dropping off a bit, goes to the bench. Might not be happy about that, given the fact that, as we said, we see fans complaining and saying, oh, Marty must be dropped because of 1, 2, and 3. Disgruntled. You look at Cross, he's given game time. Mashan was not given game time until Titlokwe left. Disgruntlement. Yeah, Umfundo Vilakazi. Beginning of the season was coming in, was getting 30 minutes, 40 minutes, was starting some games, but now he's getting dropped. Disgruntlement. You look at Abob Voma right now, thinking, hey, my friends, take Ukweneka for example, is not being played, but I see Gutabom Simango Badlala and they're making mistakes. Disgruntlement. So if there is this lot of unhappiness in the team, players end up thinking, I don't want to play for this guy. I want him to be sacked. And they know that the fans are already pissed off. And it's not going to be the players who are going to get fired all at once. There is only one person who can get fired. So, ngababuka Ocele, while Ocele are new, you look at every new player at Kaizer Chiefs. When they get there, they are all playing at this level. But then it's like they get tuned in to the politics and disgruntlement, and they start choosing sides, and they know, I want to play with this. From even the youngest ages, I see today I was changing, I'm coaching there, and I'm like, okay, now let's swap bibs. You go to this team, you go to that team. And then because that kid that I was swapping is not so great, and then they're like, oh, don't bring him to our team. If it happens to under 10s, it happens as well in the senior team. We know this. We've heard about politics within the team. So I definitely know that might also be a thing. But is it really? Or is it point number 4? Because point number 4, some people are saying that Chiefs are struggling because they do not understand Nabi. Nabi right now is speaking through a translator, right? And some people are saying that the players are not understanding the information that is communicating to them. But then my question is, if they did not understand what he was saying to them, how come they are doing the things that he's saying to them, but then they are failing to do the final thing that he asks of them, which is to score goals? Because Chiefs will build from the back, and you see them with, they are playing. Final third, in front of a goal, Serino, after Marte has pressed by the instruction from the coach, he has to score, he doesn't score. Why? It's a technical problem. It's not a tactical problem. Because the tactics are saying, when the team is playing, they have the ball, press them. The instruction gets executed. The idea is, when you are playing, show yourself for the ball. Even Abo Mart, when they are not that great at doing that, they do it. You see more players showing for the ball. Abo Modi taking the ball, dribbling past defenders. They get in front of the goal, they miss the chance. So now, what is the problem? Is that technical or tactical? The problem is technical. And if a coach who's coaching Kaizer Chiefs has to coach technique to 30-year-old men, to 34-year-old men, then we have a problem. Because me and development, I'm teaching technical things. I'm teaching them how to trap the ball. If I have to teach Umteto how to trap at senior level, I have serious problems. So I don't subscribe to that idea, they don't hear him because of a language barrier. There might be that, but I don't think it's all that. Right? Which brings us to this point, which I think, me personally, is the one that makes sense the most to me. Some people are calling this, they say that Kaizer Chiefs, people say that Kaizer Chiefs has a spiritual problem, a sangoma or something of that sort. I don't believe that. I do, however, think that there's an energy problem at Kaizer Chiefs. And this energy is created by us fans. It's created by the situation that the club is in. Imagine yourself, you're waking up and you're going to training. You train, you understand what the coach does and all of those things. But then it's match day. 30,000 people, you misplace one touch, they're on your back. How is that for your confidence? I can tell you now. Doesn't matter whether you've been playing football for 5 years, 10 years, that is going to affect you. Especially if, let's say, Sereno, as good of a player as he is, he's never played in the crowds that Chiefs plays in front of. Take Untuari, for example, TS Galaxy. How many people did he play in front of? Abo Modi, Abo Ranga. Take all of those people and take them from where they were playing in front of, at best, 1,000 people to playing in front of 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people. How do you think booing them and what we say about them on social media, calling them things and dogs, how do you think that affects them? It's going to affect their confidence. Obviously, there are other factors to this, but I think that one of the things that Kaizer Chiefs should think about doing, get these players off social media. If they need to promote brands, because Sabaimba Sebenza Nama brand, get a social media manager who's going to push those things so that these players don't get to see what is being said about them, because that's going to affect them. Abo Solomons are saying that the criticism is coming from a place of love. Some people hate you guys. You should understand that. They just hate the thought of seeing you. And they just show it. They don't hold back. So I think that the whole culture, each Chiefs must make sure that they protect the players from us, the fans, because we're emotionally invested. And when we get pissed off, not all of us can control our emotions. So we need to do better, but also that does not mean the players don't need to put in the effort. Players need to put in the effort. The coach needs to be more decisive, because if you look at all of these factors that we've talked about, it's not just one that is correct, but there's a bit of each and every one of these things. And then if you fix those things, maybe you could just see a better team against Mamelodi Sundowns. But what do you guys think? Do let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoya. This was take 2, by the way.